Hello, my friends. This is Greg with Greg James Designs in Edmond, Oklahoma. And, you know, been working on some projects lately, and some barndominium projects, and I'm starting to see a trend more is how do we bring the outside in, okay? So, a lot of my clients want nice, big, entertaining spaces off the back of their home, you know, either covered porches or covered areas. So how do we more connect those exterior spaces with the inside? Well, the best way to do that is through large window openings of some sort. And here in the last few months, I've had been experimenting more and more with large glass roll-up doors, and you'll see them on the internet. I'm not techie enough to fly pictures in. I apologize, but if you look around and do searches, you'll see a lot of these glass roll-up doors. You would see at a tire store, at a shop, commercial building, and I believe most of them are aluminum. And there's probably different types of finishes you could get as far as colors. Most common being aluminum. You could get a dark bronze finish. Of course, all these are commercial finishes. Okay, so you can contact a local overhead door company, and most of them can help you with pricing and stuff. But we've been doing a lot of roughly either 8 to 10 feet wide by like 7 to 8 feet tall. You could even do larger ones if you want, just depending on your budget. They're not real cheap, but boy, they are an amazing feature in your house. And a lot of this depends on where you live. I had a lady one time that I was looking at a project for in Georgia. And she was, honey, she said that bugs would carry me off if I opened a door that big. So a lot of this depends on where you are and, you know, how much good weather you have during the year, and of course, and those sort of things. These things are amazing in the Southwest if you're building in the Southwest part of the country. So where you have lots of dry climate, lots of really beautiful evenings and that sort of thing, you can roll these doors open. Create some amazing connection between your living areas and your outside. So another way you could do it is commercial glass. I was a commercial contractor for many years, designed a lot of commercial buildings. If you want to look, now bear in mind, commercial glass is going to be a little bit more modern looking if that's kind of the look you're going for, but it can be pretty amazing. For one, is you can carry that glass all the way down to the slab. So you just take your frames all the way down the floor, and you can have a lower glass panel and then an upper glass panel. There's a lot of different configurations you can do. Create more horizontal lines with your, with your glass. Another thing you can do is multiple panel sliding door units. So you can get really, really large. Just finished a client that wanted a 12-foot sliding door unit. So the two center doors are 3 foot by 6'8", and then you have two outside panels, so they're the same size, so you have 4 panels to make a 12-foot wide unit. Okay, so the center doors just open and touch each other like that. And so the nice thing about those, you can open them and you have a nice big opening. The doors are out of the way, but you have all this glass, that you can create that connection with. So cost-wise, well, none of these things are cheap. I know that Geldwin, I believe, Window Company makes a pretty decent vinyl unit that you can get what we call a multi-panel sliding unit. So, but bear in mind, something like that, with multiple operating doors and stuff, you do not want to skimp on the budget on that, because that thing will give you headaches a year down the road. The doors don't open and close properly. They don't latch. They won't lock. You just got to be real careful with sliding doors that you don't hold back on your investment, because you'll regret it down the road. A lot of, if you're going to do a multi-panel sliding door unit, I would definitely recommend a higher-end window or door company, more so like Marvin, Pella, Anderson. They all have really good sliding units. Their quality's really good. You can get them in wood. And get different colors on the exterior to match your existing window package if you want. So these are just some ways to think about. Now on the roll-up doors, one thing I want to tell you, There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can do it like a standard where it comes up in an L shape, okay, like a standard garage door. Okay, bear in mind that track is going to be hanging down inside your living room, so just be sure you're okay with that. Another way to do it, if you have if you have a vaulted ceiling, you can run that door straight up. Excuse me. You can run that door straight up and then just tilt it out to follow the ceiling. That's a little bit more cost, but it sure looks nice because that door just goes up and tucks away right up against the ceiling. It looks good. Don't recommend motorizing these things because that's just more hardware hanging down the space and it's going to look kind of dumb. So unless you could get something that's very discreet, more of a sidewall mount motor system, which would be more of a commercial system. But most times, just lift these doors up. They're not heavy. They're weighted really well with the springs and everything, and just lift it up. You do want to create somewhat of a door pocket, just like your garage. You know, notice to be a lip in your slab. That's to keep water from going up into the house. You definitely want to recess that door down just a little bit into a pocket in the floor. If you get heavy rains or something, water comes up onto your porch or whatever, doesn't end up in the house. That's really important. So anyways, these are just some things to do to bring the outside in. Glass. And the only thing, be careful with the use of glass. A lot of that depends on what direction your house is facing. Always try to, if there's a lot of glass on one side of the house, always try to, you know, place that house north, on the north to northeast side. You know, want to stay away from the west and southwest, obviously, depending on what part of the country you're in. So anyway, hopefully this helps you. So roll-up doors, bring the outside in. Great idea, large glass roll-up doors. Multi-panel sliding doors are great, okay? Commercial glass units were, you know, because commercial glass, you can get really, really large window panels that you can't really get with a residential unit, okay? It's a little bit more modern. That's the downside. But that may be an upside if that's the look you're going for. Because the frames on commercial glass are going to be, the geometry is going to be real squared off. And that looks great in a modern situation. So just bear that in mind. You got about 3 or 4 colors you can pick from on a commercial glass frame. You can get a aluminum finish. You can get dark bronze. You can get white. You can get red. So there's a lot of cool finishes there. But anyway, just something to think about. Thanks.